This is LOPEC Talk number 10, and happy to share with you the highlights and some insights of the upcoming LOPEC, which is just 4 weeks away. I'm not doing this alone today, and actually, as you know, LOPEC is a collaboration work. It's also you as participants which contribute to LOPEC, but there is also a big team behind, and one important part of the team is the conference board. And today we have all members of the conference board joining me to help to introduce the highlights of the LOPEC conference today. So let me share the agenda for today so that you know what you can expect from this LOPEC talk. So this is the agenda for today. I'm right now just introducing our conference board to you, and they will then give you insights in their highlights of the LOPEC 2023 conference. And of course, I'm really happy that I have Luisa Torsi with me. Professor Luisa Torsi is from the University of Bari. She is our scientific conference chair. And then we have Richard Price here from Pragmatic. He is our technical conference chair. And then we have also Kerry Adams. He is our business conference chair. And all of them, they will introduce the highlights. I will then give you an insight on what are the plenary talks, what you can expect there. And finally, we look at some more highlights of the upcoming LOPEC, what happens at the exhibition. We have a specific roundtable discussion, which I want to draw your attention to. And finally, we have the startup competition, where we today announced the nominees, which were selected from the call for paper out of the startups, which were the startups which will present at LOPEC to the startup jury. And that will be done by John Fahlteich, our startup chair. So let me go into the topic. Let me first introduce again something I already said in last LOPEC talk. LOPEC is always constructed around focus topics. We have a strategic advisory board which gives us insight of what are the most moving topics, what are the most important topics where printed and flexible electronics happens today, where it has its main applications. And again, mobility and smart living were selected as being the focus topics of LOPEC 2023. But as you can see, there is a tree growing out of this. And I think also that is something we want to emphasize, and you will see it in the conference, you will see it in the exhibition. This is the sustainability aspect of printed and flexible electronics, which is not only applying to products, it also applies to production processes. And we see that this is growing more and more and is more and more important. So our aspects in the conference program, in the call for paper, in the exhibition, they are constructed around these focus topics. And you will recognize this when we now go into the specific parts of the conference. And yeah, we will start with the scientific conference. So Luisa, I would like to turn over to you to give us insights on what are the highlights of the scientific conference out of your perspective.
Thanks so much, General Chair. Thanks so much, Wolfgang, for giving me this opportunity to really highlight how neat and interesting and important is the program of the scientific conference of LOPEC. We had a great deal of a number of submissions, and we had to do a selection, and so the program is really top notch, I would say. Here and clearly, has every year we really focus on different topics. We go from materials, so organic materials, inorganic, soft and hybrid, a lot of stretchable materials, and strategic devices, clearly always the transistors and the OLEDs, but also a lot about bioelectronics, this very interesting word where we interface, a device, an electronic, an optical device directly with an organ or a bio system, and batteries and memories. And then we have sensors, smart sensors in every different environment, and innovative processes and circuit design, simulation, and system. Here you see the view graph, summarizing what are the invited speakers in the scientific conference, and I'd like just to highlight a couple of them. Besides Professor Fabrizio Torricelli from the University of Brescia, he will talk about biomimetic and biointerfacing, digging really into the word of interfacing a system, an electronic or an optical system with a biological organ or a biological interface. This is very fascinating and very key, interesting results are coming out. Professor Paul Blom from Max Planck Institute in Mainz, he will be talking about this completely new way of conceiving an organic light-emitting diode, which is made out of a single layer. This is very important from the point of, make it easy to fabricate, yet still very efficient. And Barbara Stadlober from Johan Research, she will talk about energy and how to, harvest energy relying on novel material. And last but not least, Professor Ronaldo Ostebacca from Abo Academy, that will be talk about the use of water-gated organic field effect transistor for peptide, single peptide detection. And I think this is really, wonderful and interesting. So we are very proud of the program this year.
Thank you, Luisa. I think it was really a challenge also to select the papers. I remember that we had to select out of the large number of papers we received, the ones which are selected. So just remember, over 180 papers, not only for scientific, but all the others as well, by combining. This is the whole set of the program, which we will see. So thank you first for the scientific conference. And yeah, Richard is already on. So I will change the slide to the technical conference. So switching the gear, what are the highlights for the technical conference this year, Richard?
Thank you, Wolfgang. And I just reiterate the comments that you and Luisa said about the very high quality of submissions that we had for this year's conference. It was a hard task for myself and all the rest of the team to put together the agenda, but I think we have a very exciting and diverse conference. I think a couple of the themes that really stand out for me are in the area of healthcare and sustainability. But some of the specific highlights within the flexible and large area displays section, we delighted to have Dr. Stella Clark from BMW. She'll be talking about the process behind achieving the first color switching car and some of the other use cases around that technology. Within biomedical, We have Professor Fabiana Arduini, who'll be talking about point-of-care devices that have been fabricated on paper and the electrochemical biosensors that have been developed there to allow on-site synthesis of nanomaterials and measuring for smart and again, this theme of sustainable paper-based point-of-care devices that's really enabled by the printed electronics. Within the energy segments, we got Dr. Paul Poot from Spark Nano talking about the application of spatial ALD within the energy sector, how that is going to be scaled up for mass production, and looking at that for very large areas. So, square meterage of substrates in a roll-to-roll format, looking at electrolyzers, fuel cells, and batteries. Within lighting, but again with a very strong sustainability theme, we've got a very exciting talk by Dr. Eno Henze from Plasma Innovations, talking about how we can look at replacing copper with aluminium within some of the printed circuit boards and allowing that aluminium to become solderable through the surface treatments that they've been developing. And then finally, Peter Banken from Signify within the Smart and Hybrid Systems theme will focus on the switch to energy efficient LED lighting and how two-dimensional and increasingly three-dimensional printing and printed electronics is really helping to drive that change and the sustainability and ecological benefits that come with that. So I think overall that's just a small small sort of section of the overall program, and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a very invigorating several days within the technical conference.
Thank you so much, Richard. I think that is really, we can only take small snapshots out of the program, but really looking into that is will be exciting. And now let's move on to the business conference. Kerry, what do you think? Is it also worth to attend the business conference?
Thanks, Wolfgang. Well, yes, I'm a little bit biased, of course, but yeah, I think we've got. I'm really looking forward to LOPEC this year. I can't wait. It is my first chance to chair the business conference, which is a great opportunity, and I think what we've managed to put together is a really nice program, diverse, lots of different companies across the whole of the value chain. I mean, that's crucial here, all presenting their commercial activities. And I think it's going to illustrate this phase of industrialization that we're in the printed electronics industry. There's going to be some regular contributors, people who you're familiar with, if you've been to LOPEC and other printed electronics events before. But what's exciting this time is there are a lot of submissions from newcomers to the event. So first time people talking at LOPEC and in this space generally. So I think it's a nice blend. We've mentioned the focus themes before, and more specifically within the business conference, you'll be hearing a lot of different subject matters, 5G to IoT, automotive, healthcare as a prominent part, displays, energy storage. It's a wide range of subjects. And throughout these subjects, you see sort of recurring themes, as Richard mentioned, around sustainability and also things like AI. So it's extremely relevant, and it's going to be a good program. You'll learn about new business models. You'll learn about new products, new raw materials that have been developed. You'll learn also, and we'll get to hear about new fabrication approaches in the industry, and also what's critical about end user requirements. We always need to make sure that we're able with this technology to satisfy the most stringent end use requirements, and we can demonstrate that in some of the talks. I could have picked any of the talks, to be honest, but four that caught my eye. From Pragmatic, this whole thing about greener and lower cost semiconductor manufacturing, this manufacture of flexible ICs, in order to lower cost and carbon impact. That's going to be a great talk. Innovation Lab have a very nice new product around monitoring the health of your electric vehicle battery. And I think this is what I like about this, is it's just such a classic good case application example for printed electronics. Something that we can do on a flexible substrate that you can't really do with other types of technologies. So looking forward to hearing about that. Ligna Energy, this is, I think, probably a newer one. Low power sensors for IoT, and what we're going to hear about with this talk is roll-to-roll manufacture energy storage for powering these sensors, and based on forest materials. So again, the sustainability coming into play here. And finally, another familiar name, ISRA Cards, but familiar in the smart card industry over the years, and we're going to hear about their progress in breakthroughs in copper-based manufacturing of printed electronics and smart cards. So again, that will be we'll be really keen to learn about that. So yes, there's a nice selection there. There's loads more to look forward to, and yeah, look forward to seeing you at the end of February. Thanks, Wolfgang.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Kerry. We start actually on Tuesday with the business conference. So I'm really looking forward to see and hear some of the talk, or actually all of the talks. So thank you, Kerry, also for selecting and giving us an insight there. So finally, also, of course, we always have plenary talks where we kick off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the morning with really selected talks out of the industry, but even also influencing talks from industries which are tied and connected with printed flexible electronics. And also there, I think that's at least some of these talks, and all of them are describing application point of views, but they're describing it from different point of views out of the industry. Like, for instance, it's a Huitema giving us an insight on what e-ink is doing today, not only on their car surfaces, but they've extended their production scope. They developed a lot of new products. They turned from black and white to color. So I think that will be an interesting talk to listen to. On Wednesday, we start the plenary talks with Pirelli. Pirelli, of course, everyone I think is aware of Pirelli, the tires. They are their connect to between the street, the road, and the automotive. And smart tires help to develop IoT because you need the data, and the data is actually in the tire. So they will talk about this. But of course, we need to talk then also about the data itself. We need to talk about data handling, also the connect of all the data in the metaverse. So we will listen to Microsoft giving us an insight on what they think about this data input, and also artificial intelligence, which supports, for instance, maintenance with the help of these data, in this case here, spot robots. So we will see that. Antonio Facchetti, Professor Antonio Facchetti, he was a recent scientific chair. We asked him to give him a chance to discuss his recent findings about really materials which will allow flexible and stretchable devices. Also, not only the application point of view, it's also the scientific point of view, which we want to include in the plenary talks. And on the last day, on Thursday, we will then turn to consumer applications, consumer electronics using printed electronics to print displays. So here we hear from Samsung what they have achieved with inkjet printing technology to use that for displays production. But we also will hear from every denizen about, for instance, the aspect of, if you have sustainability as a trigger, what innovation can a company like Every Denizen include, also using printed electronics to use innovation to drive that in future products. Also, that I think will be very interesting. And then we have we switched the topics to healthcare, to applications which comes in the area of smart living. Ton van Mol from the Host Center will give us an insight on what flexible electronics can do, what kind of applications they have done and will do in the future. So human-centric healthcare, that is the topic they talk, and how printed flexible electronics can contribute to that. And finally, we turn again to the energy question. And in this case, it's Varta producing energy, batteries, and how innovation is used to do mass production also for this energy component. So you see also the plenary talks reflect very well the focus topics which I started this LOPEC talk with, and I'm really looking forward to all the parts of the conference, but also especially to the plenary talks. What other highlights do we have this year? One thing which was not announced but will be announced soon is the discussion about standards in printed flexible electronics is more and more important. As adoption is growing, it is important to have standards, and we need to understand why they matter and how you can get involved. And there is different activities already ongoing, and we decided to say it's a good idea to give them a platform, to give them a discussion where they can present what they are doing right now, and also what their targets is for the future, and also how they can collaborate and how you can contribute to this process of standardization. And here is the list of participants. So we have IPC as one participant, we have SEMI as one participant, and we have the Fraunhofer ENAS, but Dr. Willett is acting as the chair of the IEC committee TC119, which is right now in the process of developing these standards out of the viewpoint of IEC. So I'm really also looking forward to that discussion to see where we are in doing these standards. Giovanni Nisato, which some of you know pretty well, he was part of a standardization discussion in the OEA in recent years. He will moderate this discussion, and I'm looking forward to the outcome of what can be done to make this, to contribute the very nice development of printed and flexible electronics. Standards are helping to grow that. And yeah, the roles of the different organizations, I think that will be interesting to understand that and use it. That will be on Wednesday in the afternoon. So looking forward to see that. And probably you have a chance to attend this, because that's part of the free program of LOPEC. If you are an attendee to the exhibition, you can also listen to the talks at the LOPEC Forum. And later we will hear about the startups. Also, they present at the LOPEC Forum, and it's free to attend. Of course, the conference, which you heard, is not free to attend. You have to buy a ticket for that. But let's turn to another highlight, which I want to announce today. Actually, also something pretty new. It's about the exhibition. These are recent numbers for LOPEC 2023. And I'm really excited. I already posted that on LinkedIn, that we see some growth. Now I have numbers which I can state today that we reached an all-time high for LOPEC 2023 exhibition. We exceeded numbers of the pre-COVID times, so 165 exhibitors. Also the floor space, which the exhibition is at a record level. And I think that is a really nice sign for the industry to see, even beside other exhibitions, they are calming down. This does not apply for printed and flexible electronics. So I'm really looking forward to this exhibition with the huge number of exhibitors with exciting things they will show, and with the nice growth we have, and also new exhibitors which will present there for the first time. Of course, we will have again an innovation showcase with some highlights there as well. And also we always have the introductory talks, which for the people which don't know too much about printed and flexible electronics, they get a free introduction, also with a free round, with a free tour to visit and understand what's in the exhibition. But takeaway message is record numbers for number of exhibitors and floor space. Now we are turning to the last topic, and I would like to ask John to, let's say, help me and actually present the Startup Award. I think a lot of excited startups are already waiting if they are on the final list of presenting at LOPEC. So I'm turn over the word to you, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you all can hear me well here. So at first, I want to say thank you to all the many startups that have submitted finally the questionnaire and filled the questionnaire and submitted their application for the LOPEC Startup Award and for the LOPEC Startup Forum. And yeah, why should, that's probably first a little advertising for this part of the event. Why should startup participate here in the LOPEC Startup Award? And that's practically at first you will get a large audience, both on the side of the customer, on the side of the supplier, and increasingly also on the side of investors. So increase the outreach, test the idea, receive feedback, talk to investors, and finally really find future customers. So as we've heard, the LOPEC exhibition is one of the largest, or is the largest this year compared to any years before. So that is practically the main thing. So what we see with the printed electronics also is that a lot of technologies in the printed electronics business field, or in the field of printed electronics, are getting mature, and startups are coming, both from spin-offs, from universities, from research institutes, but also startups that have an idea and want to do product in the field of printed electronics. And we want to give at first these startups a forum, as I said, to find customers, suppliers, investors, but also on the other hand, to give the LOPEC community an insight on what's going on, what's being commercialized in the moment, and to build partnerships in the very earliest possible moment. So definitely we see a lot of interest, a lot of growing interest from venture capital companies, venture capitalist investors, and you will see it in the jury a little later, that they are also participating actively in our LOPEC startup competition. So we want to strengthen the network, we want to strengthen the startup competencies, we want to strengthen the visibility, and we want to get more startups involved in the LOPEC, in the technical conference, in the business conference, in the exhibition. So how did it work? Well, how is the LOPEC Startup Award working? Actually, we have on the website of the LOPEC conference, we have a questionnaire and an application form. You have to answer a few questions about the business model, to answer a few questions about your product, how long does the company exist, and about the team. Then we have a jury that selects the finalist. And this year we can say that we have decided to invite 6 finalists. Normally it's 5 finalists, but this year we decided, with so many good applications, that we decided to have 6 finalists that will pitch on Wednesday at the LOPEC, in the LOPEC Forum, during the Startup Forum event, in front of investors, in front of other startups, in front of practically everyone participating at the LOPEC. And I can absolutely recommend and encourage everyone who participates here today to stop by and to listen to what the startups have to present. Basically, before we announce the 6 finalists, I would like to introduce to you the jury. Practically, it's myself as the organizer or supporting the LOPEC organizational committee with the startup forum here. It is Kerry Adams, the business chair of the conference. Anne Umbach, I'm really happy to have we have her here as a representative of an investor, Hightech Gründerfonds. Michael Heck from Universal Display and UDC Ventures, also an investor involved here. Oliver Karl from MIG Verwaltungs AG, also looking in the investor. We have a successful CEO from a company that actually I know 15 years ago as a startup and now has grown to a remarkable company with the production of printed solar cells. So not printed, it's vacuum coated, but it's organic solar cells. Guido van Taatwijk. And finally, Amira's investment. Maybe you know Rudolf Ritschek as a very active networker and also supporter of business innovation, and Roman Pasek from Amira's investment. That's the jury. And now I would like to start announcing the 6 finalists, starting with the first company today, which is Molecular Plasma Group from Luxembourg, who are offering molecular atmospheric pressure plasma coatings for printed electronics. We have as the second company, Track C. I hope I spell it right, and please correct me. You can do it in Munich if I'm wrong. From Canada, here presenting laser-based contact inline quality control for printed electronic quality control and production. Really an important and growingly important topic where a lot of work has been done, is to be done, and practically there is a strong demand for that. We have Additive Electronics from Germany, who are doing 3D printers for 2D and 3D freeform circuit boards, printed circuit boards. That's really interesting because I've personally received a lot of requests in that direction already. So that's really something. It's very interesting. The next company is Traxon, or I hope I speak it right, from Netherlands, doing roll-to-roll printing of circuitry and complex structures. We have Noxon from Germany, Maria Neugschwender presenting about a portable printed measurement system for musculoskeletal disorders. So really this is something, a health application, a product for health application that's also very much growing at the moment. And finally, we have Active Surfaces from USA, company doing thin film perovskite solar cell, flexible perovskite solar cells. Very curious to see about all these companies, what you're currently doing, what is your product, what's your innovation, and it's absolutely interesting. And also from the field of business, from the products, it's really different parts in the value chain. We have characterization, we have processing, we have products. So really nice to see. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you, and want to say congratulations to the finalists, and even to those who were not invited today as finalists. Want to say congratulations and thank you as well to you, because we say that's really great that you apply, and hopefully we will see all of you in Munich. By the way, what you can win, there are 2 prizes that will be given or will be awarded, and one is for the best impactful technology and one for the best business model. That's practically related to the LOPEC. Next year there will be the opportunity also for a, I would say, free exhibition booth, but that's something we will discuss in Munich. Looking forward to seeing you all and to have a strong participation and audience in the LOPEC forum. That's from my side everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I think it was exciting also seeing the variety of very different business cases. Also internationally, we've seen that a lot of applications come from abroad. So I think that also that is good to see. And I know it's not an easy time right now for startups, but looking also here at the growing number of applications and hopefully also growing business which comes out of that, I think that that's important to see. So now I want to conclude. I just want to thank all participants today, the conference board, John, startup chair, to help me to introduce these lot of things and highlights we will have at LOPEC 2023. It is not even 4 weeks away. So February 28th, we start with the business conference, and March 1st and 2nd, we will have technical and scientific conference coming up with the plenary talks as well, and the exhibition with the record numbers. So I'm really looking forward to do that and see that. I hope I will all see you there, and we can reconnect, we can network there and discuss all the nice things around printed and flexible electronics. With that, I want to conclude the LOPEC Talk number 10 for today, and I'm really looking forward 4 weeks away, welcoming you, not virtual, but real. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.